Hello YouTubers, Tross here, back playing some more Kerbal Space Program. And here we are with the crew of the Surveyor 1, I believe I call this. Surveyor 1. Heading, or at least on their way to head back to Kerbin after a good bit of time, 242 days. We have Jebediah, 2 tourists, Bob, Bill, Utrix, and Valentina, all on board here. And, well, they're in orbit, and, we're getting ready to send them back. So we're orbiting around in this direction. Minmus is going in this direction. We want to slow down, so that means traveling in that direction. Which I think if we do a maneuver or something like this, that should get us pretty close. I think if we, maneuver this around so it goes further straight back, it will be slightly more efficient. Oop, had an intercept with the moon there. That actually, depending on how that intercept goes, could help us slow down, but it's probably more problematic than it is worth. We want to... Yeah, thanks. Wanted that label up, but also... okay, label stayed up. But also be able to still maneuver to the maneuver node. We want this... Well, we want this in the atmosphere at best. But again, you can see we're angling off here. All right. You know what, that is, well, it's not really that much, but, yeah, it's it's not really working out that well. It's at 17, but if we maneuver this around... It's now at 14, because we're now going more straight backwards than where previously. This is only 77 meters per second. Once we get out of the influence, we can then slow down more without getting... You can see we were almost going over the poles, so our thrust is really going to change our inclination instead of changing our orbit. So, let me do this maneuver here. We got about 5 minutes. Let's pull up our resources here and time warp a bit. And this is where we were. Kind of missing the maneuver here a little bit. This is where we got some of the science readings. But we don't have to be exact. let's throttle up. This is going to be just a few seconds. And cut. And there we go. We are well, on an escape trajectory. And we're not actually going to get to Apoapsis here. We'd have to go all the way around first to do that. We will, though, get to approximately here. And then, let's pop that up a bit more. Thrusting will bring that nicely down. Million. $100,000. 35. 35 kilometers. That's about where we want to be. So that next maneuver is approximately in 1 day. Yeah. We escape in 1 day in 2 minutes. This is just a few short minutes after that. So let's, well, there's our surveyor we left in orbit. Let's time warp around here. Gonna lose the sun. We're using up some power, but there we go. Back in the sunlight. Charging up our batteries again. Here's our destination. We still have quite a few hours to go. Okay, we are out of the sphere of influence. Actually, it automatically slowed down. But now we're a few minutes later. And we need to do a burn here. Actually, it's going to be a bit bigger than our leaving orbit burn. Actually, almost twice the amount. But we still have plenty of fuel for these maneuvers. Well, let's go a little late, but again, it doesn't really matter too much. Alright, we're just gonna slowly throttle up here to get the end of this pretty much exactly on 35. That's a little low, but I actually think it will be fine. That's in 8 days now. So be about actually day 251 when we finally get home. And well, there it is. So let's time warp here. Slowly picking up speed as we get closer and closer. Alrighty, let's slow it down there. We're not within the moon's orbit yet, but oh, and there is the moon there. Let's pick it back up a little. We should be about a day out at this point. Yeah, a few hours. There's Kerbal Space Center. Now we're going to be coming in on the dark side. I'm not sure if we'll be skipping through the atmosphere or not. We will have to see how that all goes. Alright, we have one drogue chute and 8 normal parachutes, so hopefully that will keep us all. Let's see, we got about another 30 minutes. We're still coming in at like 32,000. Don't think there's anything we need the fuel for at this time. I'm gonna wait till we're just above the atmosphere though to get rid of the fuel tank and engine and science experiments. Alright, we are picking up quite a bit of speed now. Gonna be over 3,000, I believe. And a little bit of a lag there. I'm not sure what that was. Let's point retrograde. Yeah, we are back to real time. Alright, Jeb, this is it. Alright, we are gonna eject the engine. I said we're gonna eject. There we go. And at this point we're gonna retract the solar panels. Because we're about to enter the atmosphere. And just in case we need them again, we don't want them to break. And we'll do a little roll here. Just so we have a light on the side here. Although, it's not very much light. Sunlight's hitting directly on that, I think. Or, no, that is our lights hitting directly on that. We are out of the sunlight. And we are actually in the atmosphere here. Just the very top part. We're still picking up speed, yeah. We're over... Oh, yeah, here comes the re-entry effects. Please don't hit us. Yeah, we're going to be clear. We have our... ablator here. So far seeming to do a good job. We're still slightly picking up speed. Now we're not. You see all the numbers up here. Completion is going well. Should find this parachute, but Alright, we are coming down. We're at 34, 33 kilometers. We're slowing down. 32, well, 32 and a half. 32. Dropped quite a bit of speed. But we're still at orbital speed, and we're beginning to go back up again. Back above 32 kilometers. 32 and a half. I'm kind of glad we did go down to 32, because 35 we definitely would not have lost enough speed. Although, I think we're going to be going around again. Back at 35. We've lost about 500 meters per second. But we're going to need to lose another 800 or so before we're not in orbit anymore. Maybe not quite that much, maybe 700, but we're at 40 kilometers. Re-entry effects are dissipating. 45 kilometers. Well, we seem to have come through that fine. We've lost a little more than an eighth of our heat shield. But that's fine. How's everybody? Alright, and we're above 55, and looks like most of the re-entry effects have gone away. We did somewhat pass over the Space Center. We are on a short orbit, so within an hour we will be back in the atmosphere. Okay, we are officially back in space. So let us time warp a little bit. I'm gonna put out just one solar panel so we recharge a bit. Used up about 60 units of energy. Alright, let's continue time warping. I think that is Minmus out there, glittering in the sunlight. Got the moon right there. Just about to eclipse the sun, I think. Right, we are headed back towards Kerbin. We're fully charged. Wasn't perfectly aligned, but that doesn't really matter too much. Alrighty, we are about to re-enter again. Let's flip around. Let's again roll a bit. And time warp just until we get about 80. Alright. 5 kilometers above the atmosphere, let's put the solar panel away. Right here between the two main windows is the drogue chute. We'll be waiting until we've slowed down quite a bit. I'm not sure what the max speed is. I think it may be 750 meters per second. I believe it's definitely under a kilometer per second. Sun has just set. We are about to get some re-entry effects. We're approaching 55 kilometers. Mark. And here we go. Hopefully this time we will slow enough. We're about 2.7 kilometers per second. A little rough. We're under 40 kilometers. We're still at 2.7 kilometers per second, but it is now slowing. Kilometers, 2.5 meters kilometers per second. Kilometers, and still decreasing. Now at 31 kilometers and 2.4 meters per second, kilometers per second. We're down to 30 kilometers. Kilometers per second. That was the camera just flipping around on its own. We're at 28 kilometers now. Under 2.2 kilometers per second, which is just about orbital speed. Only 6 kilometers and 2 kilometers per second. To 24 kilometers and 1.8 kilometers per second. I believe we are over the desert that is west of Kerbal Space Center. Down to 22 kilometers and about 1.6 kilometers per second. 17 kilometers. 16 kilometers and 1.2 kilometers per second. Alright, we're at 12 kilometers and we're at 800 meters per second. We are definitely subsonic, or re-entry. Still supersonic. Let's get this 8 kilometers up. It is now safe to deploy the drogue chute. We have. In a minute, it should be safe. It is safe to deploy the other chutes. And we're going to hit the water. But is that right at the edge of this island here? Where are we? Yeah, we are. Kerbal Space Center is right over here. We're above the desert, or south of the desert that's west across a narrow strip of water. Alright, we got the drogue chute is fully open and we're down to 65 meters. Got all the other parachutes open. Yes, and we are at a nice 6 meters per second. That's great. This hitchhiker capsule can only survive impact of about 8. So it's great that we are under that. We still have a bit to go. I'm gonna time warp down. Yeah, that's the island. And when we get to about 100 meters left, we're about half battery charge. Blader, we still have like 2/3 of it left, which is great. We can use the RCS system to. It takes about, I don't know, 1/3 of a meter per second off. Alright, let's get these guys recovered. Okay, 206 science earned. We now have 1379 science. Atmospheric pressure scan, temperature scan, seismic scan, recovery of a vessel from the surface of Minmus. For parts, we've got 20,000 funds back. Barometer costs a bunch. Storage container. I mean, those. How much do we get back? Seismic accelerometer is really pricey. Illuminator. Where was it? Surface scan. Oh, that's not as expensive as I thought that would be. And crew. Jebediah, no XP gain. 2 tourists, no XP gain. Utrix gained 6. Valentina gained 6. I was hoping Utrix would level up. So we'd have 2 level 2 scientists. Alright, let's hit done there. VIP safely ferried. Another great things to say about the trip. And he brought back plenty of photos. Great, yeah. Because he was up there 251 days. Alright, I think that's going to be about it for this episode. What is going on? Let's see. We have... we have a Duna probe here. And it's... well, it's getting really close to its maneuver in a few days. Well, about 30 days. About a month away. We did just earn... well, we got a bunch of science that we can use to unlock quite a few things. Hey, Gene. We could go back to the moon. We are actually supposed to go back to the moon. I don't think we did spend a lot of time, but I think we haven't failed anything yet. Everything has a, well, long deadline. Outpost on the moon. Well, might as well plant the flag on the moon while we're doing that. Orbital station, we have a few years for that. Well, we have 19 years for that. Well, we're gonna do this, I think, when we get a station. Explore Duna while we're in the process of doing that. That's what the probe is. And we have 11 years to rescue this guy. Science data from the moon? Well, if we're gonna put a... we got 10 years. Great. We'll do it. The Dawn Ionic Propulsion System. Something tells me it's not going to work that great on the launch pad. But I think it's something we can test. Seismic surveys on the moon. As derelict from orbit. That's something I'd like to try. One day, how much time do we have for it? Great. Yeah, we're not gonna do seismic surveys on Duna or explore Ike. But a little housekeeping here so we can get right into it next time. How are we doing here? We got a 2-star scientist, Utrix. Oh, you're so close. What do we have to do to get you just a tiny bit of more XP? The higher the star rating, the faster they get data out of a science lab. Oh wow, log. Didn't even notice this. Orbited around Kerbin twice. Plant flag on moon 5 times. Plant flag on Minmus 6 times. Orbit around Kerbin twice. Plant flag on Minmus 6 times. Gone on orbit twice. Land on Minmus. You haven't been to the moon. You need just a trip to the moon and back just to get your second star there. Yeah, so that's our set of Kerbal knots here, I should say. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time with some more Kerbal Space Program. I'll see you then.